Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Wentao Zhang and today I will be teaching you the forms of the imperfect tense. The imperfect tense is used for past actions that are not necessarily seen as completed. You would use the imperfect tense when you are trying to imply that your past action did not have a definite beginning or definite ending. Now, one way to determine if a verb should be in the preterite is to try substituting one of the three following phrases in English. And those three phrases are was/wering, used to, or would. So now let's look at the conjugations. In order to conjugate regular AR verbs in the imperfect, you simply drop the AR ending and add one of the following endings. So for yo, it's aba, tú abas, él, ella, usted aba, nosotros abamos, vosotros abáis, and ellos, ellas, ustedes aban. Let's move on to look at some of the conjugation for the regular ER and IR verbs in the imperfect. You simply drop the ER and IR and you tack on these endings. So ia, ias, ia, iamos, iais, and ian. So here are three regular imperfect forms together, and we're going to conjugate them. So the first one we're going to do, all three verbs are, again, hablar, comer, and vivir. Now the first one we're going to do is hablar. Now, hablar takes on the AR, requires the AR conjugation, which requires us to tack on these endings to the end of the stem. Again, you drop the AR, as I have already done for these 6 stems, and you simply write in the ending. So that would be aba for yo, abas, aba, abamos, with an accent on the A, the first A, abais, and aban. Great, so let's move on to comer. Comer is a ER verb, which means we need to use these conjugations for the ER and IR. Once again, I have already removed the infinitive ending, and so I've left us with 6 stems. And again, we just tack on these 6 endings. So comía, comías, comía, comíamos, comíais, and comían. And finally, we have vivir, which means to live. As always, I have removed the ending, and now we're left with the 6 stems. Vivir, which is an IR verb, requires the ER-IR conjugation as well. So again, we just throw on these endings, and we will be well underway. Viais and beyond. And just a note before we move on to some examples, it would be very wise, extremely wise to memorize these conjugations before your next test, because you're going to get tested on them and they're going to be worth a large portion of your grade. So next we're going to do an example here, and that is we're going to translate "we would lunch together every day" into Spanish. Now we already know it is a very well-established fact that almorzar means to lunch together. Since the sentence contains the trigger word would, we would, and we go back to see that would is one of the trigger verbs, we know that it is in the imperfect tense and not the preterite tense. We conjugate almorzar by dropping the infinitive ending, so mors, right? And we have to find the appropriate imperfect ending, which in this case would be almorzabamos, since it's we. So A-L-M-O-R, za, with an accent on the A, vamos. Thus, the sentence translated to Spanish would be almorzábamos todos los días. Once again, this is Wentao Zhang teaching you Spanish 2. This is Lesson 3, Forms of the Imperfect. Thank you.